but I'm trying to.
All right.
But it's okay. I'm moving around.
Okay. I think we have to start.
Okay.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I wish to warmly welcome us to the 12th edition of Inside the Arena. I still remain yours sincerely, Engineer Ben O.C. Okodi, host. Inside the arena today, we have a very distinguished engineer, a very young, delectable Amazon who has carved her niche in the field of engineering practice and is a name that whenever it is mentioned, women engineers in Nigeria will be proud to be called engineers because she has broken many records and still breaking. Inside the arena, we have a very distinguished engineer, Idiat, Aderemi, Amusu, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Now, before we go on, I would like to set the rules for the game, for the show. We have 3 segments of this program. The first segment is what we call the direct free kick. And during the direct free kick segment, the host is going to direct all the questions to the guest, and the guest will respond to the questions. Then after that, we go to the corner kick segment where the floor will be open for our participants to ask questions. They will ask you questions and you are going to respond to the questions, but you have also the protection of the host. If we consider any question to be out of the limit or beyond the bounds of propriety, we are going to flag it as yellow card, and you will be exempt from answering the question. Then we move to the last segment, which is the extra time segment. That is the prize giving time. And I assure you that today, we are going to be going home, 2 of the participants, we're going home with wonderful prizes. One of the prizes is an air conditioner, very beautiful Hisense air conditioner. In the course of the program, I'm going to announce it was donated by one of your friends, one of your allies, Engineer Olu Ogunduile, who is the MDC of Kenor Engineering. And also we have a fan, which was also donated to you by one of your associates. So these 2 prizes are going to be won today. And because of the importance of technology to mankind, I'll be hosting this program today, not from the beautiful and serene city of Abuja, but all the way from the also beautiful city of Enugu, where I will be hosting the program from today. We go straight to the questions, Ma. Please, in a very concise manner, can you tell us who is Engineer Idiat Aderemi Amusu?
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Idiat Aderemi Amusu. Her parents are from Abeokuta. She was born in Kano and she schooled in Ibadan and did her university at Nsukka, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. She studied agricultural engineering at the university and did her master's at University of Ibadan in food technology. And she has done so many programs in that field over the course of time. She at one time she was managing Ad Farm Nigeria Limited, a 22-acre farm in Lagos. And coincidentally, that place is now a bus stop. It's called Alakuko bus stop in Lagos, towards the toll gate on your way to Abeokuta from Lagos. She moved from there and went to lecture at Yaba College of Technology till she retired 5 years ago.
Beautiful. Now let me take you on this. You studied agricultural engineering, and at that time, many men were interested in maybe becoming medical doctors, some nurses. There were some courses that were, synonymous with women at that time. Why did you choose agricultural engineering?
It's funny. My parents didn't have any influence of what anybody wants to study. But when I was in St. Teresa's College, Ibadan, I enjoyed my mathematics very well.
Hello? I think we've lost her. We've lost her. Maybe she's trying to reconnect. Let's give her some time. Hello. Okay, you can go on, ma.
Yeah, let me make this apology. My area is the flight zone. So anytime there's a plane passing, every internet is disconnected briefly.
Wow.
Please pardon me if it happens again.
Okay, ma.
In fact, I'm moving around because of it so that it will not affect my interview.
Okay, ma. You can go on, ma.
Okay, like I said, I loved mathematics and the science subjects in school because of the interests that the school had in girl-child education. So in addition to that, I liked food. I always admire fields all over the place looking at food growing. Just about the time I was going to enter the university, I heard about agric engineering. So I said, food and engineering, fine. So why don't I do it? And there were two institutions that were offering it at that time, Ife and the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So I chose Nsukka because I wanted to leave the Southwest region to try another area. So that's how I got to University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Curiosity of the age at that time.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Now, the other thing to ask you is this. How many men were in your class at UNN, and how did you survive them?
I think we were just 15 in class, and I was the only girl there. But because I grew up amongst boys, it was easy for me to interact with all of them. And most of the time, they didn't appreciate that I'm a girl. I was just one of them. And it made my study very, very easy and productive for me.
Now, after your graduation from university, you went into lecturing. You've mentioned that your love for mathematics was part of it. What again inspired you to opt for lecturing. Again, why did you go back to the school to study food science after you had studied agricultural engineering?
When I started working with the farm, sincerely, that was the best part of my career when I was working on the farm. But then my interest in the society at that point in time, it was a rural area, and there were so many children out of school, particularly the youth who were looking for job on the farm. And I was curious that what can I add to them? So I decided that I think I'll be more useful impacting my knowledge in the younger ones in the society. So I decided to change from the farm to the institution.
Okay. You delivered the 8th inaugural lecture of Yaba College of Technology titled Reverse Engineering, a Panacea to Waste Not, Want Not. That was in April 2014. The lecture, as at today, still remains a reference point in Yabatech's history. What informed that topic?
When I was lecturing, I was also in touch with the industry, because I felt that I will be a better lecturer if I know what is happening in the industry and I can impact that onto the students. In the course of that interaction, I had to be involved in so many projects involving the industry and food. And in the food sector, the concern was food preservation. We have a lot of food products wasting all over the place. And the concern then was, how do we preserve and add value to this material wasting all over the place? At that time, I was traveling around in course of consulting for the industry around the country. And I see a lot of food material that can be improved upon and can be useful to the society. Looking at them wasting was not an interesting thing for me. So over time, I started looking at what can we do in our own little way to improve the products and may add value to them. But the first thing I looked at was production of equipment in the society. At that time, the foreign exchange was still not that interesting. The earning capacity was low, so a lot of people cannot import equipment to do the processing desired. You will recall that the medical doctors started their practice by using fabricated beds that the welders put around, if you recall that time. Most of the hospitals at that time had beds made by welders by this roadside. They tried to modify what they see, and the hospital started to boom. So I said to myself, why can't we do the same thing to process food material? What do we need? For instance, let's look at processing cassava. The first thing you need is a grater, apart from the washing, which can be manual. Grating, pressing, frying. Those three processes are the major one in cassava processing. And you will see that the locals were doing some things that were not interesting. For instance, the separation of the juice from the slurry. They will add, put the slurry in a bag and add stone on it to press it out. All you need is a screw press, but they cannot afford it. So we started brainstorming with my students in school that, okay, what happens? The requirement is any part in contact with food must be stainless steel. So let's look at a way to make sure that the price comes down, and then we make the screw press affordable. So we are looking at the major parts that will get in contact with food and still meet the requirement of NAFDAC and any of the inspecting agencies. So that's how it started. Then somehow along the line, my institution brought some equipment from India. And they were there. I was out of the country, and when I came, they were there, and nobody was going to operate them. So the challenge was on me when I became the head of department to utilize those equipments. I found out that all the equipments imported are things that we can make here. So I decided that I am going to replicate those equipments for processing. Coincidentally, I was discussing with some rectors, and with due respect, engineer Taiwo, please pardon me, the rector of our polytechnic, she's a female, please pardon me, I'll remember the name in a short one. She gave me the challenge. I said, can you reproduce all these things like you said? And I said, yes. She said, okay, I'm going to challenge you. Come over. You'll be doing a 3-3-3-3 because she was due for accreditation. And we did. Well, if you see the picture of what I did then and what I do now, I think they are far apart. But the only thing was that they were functional. But now what I do now is commensurate with any imported material into the country. So that's how I started. And then we now decided that if we can process this material, we will not want in this country, and a lot of all the food products will not go to waste. That is waste not, want not. The reverse engineering there is what people call copy technology, is any equipment that is functional, that is used for processing, can be reproduced. So that's how I got into the reverse engineering.
Wow.
And to the glory of God today, I say with all modesty, I have done for over 46 polytechnics in this country.
Wow, wow, that's a landmark achievement. You did mention when you were talking that you served as HOD and Dean, also a faculty. These you did at different occasions across different institutions, even when you went on sabbatical. Did you ever, as a young engineer, imagine, or as a young lecturer, imagine that you will occupy such position in what was once considered as a male-dominated profession?
For me, I didn't see, my upbringing didn't make me feel that there's a difference between a boy and a girl, a man and a woman in terms of achievement. So I never had that view of this level, I cannot reach it. And my father, peace be unto him, wherever he is now, believed in us together. We were just two females at the time before others came in. So to him, in fact, I was his choice child, let me put it that, because I was reading engineering. So from home, I have been in that choice position to feel that nothing is impossible with respect to my gender. But in the workspace, it's a little bit different. I could brace through it because of my interaction with the boys in the university, but it's different. The society really up to now is not that too receptive to the female gender. For instance, when I'm in the workshop fabricating, up till now, A lot of the people don't know that I'm an engineer. They will call my technician engineer and they will say it to me. Engineer Bello, we are looking for Engineer Bello and all those kind of things. But I've passed through it. I just smile. Over time, they will know who is an engineer and who is not in the course of discussion. And that has been the case. So I'm not struggling for them, but my performance shows who I am as we go along. And this is how I did throughout when I was in the institution as well. Do your best as much as you can. Remember that you are accountable to yourself first and to your God next, and then to the community.
Yeah. Now let me take you down to the Nigerian Society of Engineers. How did you join the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and who inspired you to join?
Well, it's a mixed system that got me there. I think my first reaction was when I met engineer Mrs. Shomolu. She lectured briefly in Yaba College of Technology, and she mentioned Nigerian Society of Engineers to me. But for my age, it didn't mean anything to me at that time. I just smiled and I said to her, "Auntie, let's move on." But
Wow.
okay, are we good?
Yeah, go on, ma.
Okay. So with the introduction of AppWen, the couple of meetings that I attended, then we started talking about Nigerian Society of Engineers and its relationship to AppWen. So with that, I now started interacting with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, particularly my classmates. That was what dragged me more into the Nigerian Society of Engineers. My classmates in the universities, it gave me an opportunity to see them. So I now said, well, why wouldn't I be a full-fledged member? Uzebu and the likes of that. So I said to them, okay, I'm coming to join. That's how I joined the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Then at the place of work, you need to show your professionalism. You need to be a member of an association which is related to your program. So it was mandatory for me to join one, and there's no other one that will join other than the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Okay, now you served as executive committee member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers at the national level. But thereafter, you shifted your attention to the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APPON, where you rose to the peak and served as the 4th president of APPON. Why didn't you continue through the ladder of the Nigerian Society of Engineers?
Two things. The first one was AppWen was still in its infancy. There was a lot of work to be done there at that time. And when I was the ESCO member of NSC, it exposed me more to all the areas that AppWen has some shortcomings. So I decided that, look, why am I running after NSC that is stable? Why don't I concentrate on AppWen to ensure that they are on a better footing and then they can be at the pedestal that is desirable? So that was why. First reason. The second one, at that time, my children were very young, and the trip to Abuja and all the rest was a little bit cumbersome for me with the children around. And you know the other one about the home. So work-life balance was the second one. So I just stepped back a little, not that I moved away completely. I was still part of activities with NSC, but I just stepped back a little to balance the two so that I can come back again.
Wow. Now, can you share with us some of your landmark achievements as APUEM president?
Thank you. When I became the president, computer was just being introduced into the country. Quite a few establishments had holds on the computer system at that time, at that space. So when I became the president, that was my mantra, that we must get computers to the community. We ourselves must be computer literate. So we did a lot of computer training, both for ourselves and to the community around us. That was the focus at that time, because that was the in thing at that time.
Okay.
Sorry,
hello?
I remember the name of the rector, engineer Taiwo Osemeka. That's the rector of Polytechnic at that time, Federal Polytechnic of.
Now let me take you through this. The last time we had a woman inside the arena, I also asked her this question, and I want to get your own view or perspective on this question. And the question goes this way: that in some quarters believe that women have all it takes, as you have affirmed earlier, to compete and excel above men when given an equal playing field. They are of the view that concession or tokenism prevents women from realizing their full potentials. Your achievement in life, even as I said earlier, in male-dominated fields, we are there as a result of diligence or affirmative action. What is your view about affirmative action?
I always, first I advocate that you must establish a level playing field for yourself, whether you are a male or a female. Like I tell my children, your brain and that of being a female and that of the male, there's no difference in the cell arrangement there. It is how well you push the boundaries that will take you into the field and into the position that you desire. And you see that has pushed a lot of women to the top. If you don't allow the gender issue to push you down, then the sky is your limit, or you shatter the glass ceiling.
Now, talking about shattering the glass ceiling. Just recently, the glass ceiling was broken or shattered in the NSC leadership. Now we have the first female deputy president, who also happens to be your daughter. Do you also think that the time is right for the first female president of Nigeria, since we have got the first female president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, though in waiting? Do you think the time is right for Nigeria to have the first female president of Nigeria. Do you, by extension, say that the male have failed Nigeria over the past 60 years? There is need for us to try at least a woman to redeem or restore Nigeria. You remember the university you went to, the motto of that university is to restore the dignity of man. And there have been this crave for us to restore the dignity of Nigeria. Do you think it is a woman that can come to that rescue?
Of course, a woman can rule this country very well. First, we have to remove the barrier of thoughts, because the average man has that barrier that this is just a woman. That's the first barrier that has to be removed by the male folk. The second barrier is we need to remove the game of money. Naturally, women nurture. And the role of nurturing does not bring in the game of money playing. When you nurture, there is economic development, there is increased productivity in both social and economic and educative sector, as well as in the manpower development for the nation. And when all these are in place, you will find that the friction that women are experiencing will be reduced. And then the quality people will come out. Right now, it's very disgusting for women. It's a natural thing. Women feel irritated easily when you talk about nepotism, corruption, and all the likes of it. It's natural. Even at home, you will find that when a woman is angry, two things happen. Either she keeps quiet exceptionally, or she goes 100% down the scale in anger. That's natural. Management is now what brings out the best of both the male and the female in the playing field that we are talking about. Today, Nigeria is overripe to have a female president. Tell me the qualities that makes a good president that a woman does not have. Today in Nigeria, if we start to count, we can bring 50 people at a call who have those qualities that can rule Nigeria. But then, my people say in Yoruba, I will say it and translate. They said a hunchback, a knock-knee man who carries a luggage, and you say that the luggage is bent. They tell the man, look at the legs. The legs are already bent. So how can the luggage be straight? The society from the foundation, we need to repackage our norms in the society. We need to change our cultural belief about the capabilities and of a woman. Even in places of employment, it still comes to play. For instance, when the boys go out or the men go out for evening out, that's where they decide major decisions. They discuss it and decide at that point. Meanwhile, the woman has gone home to perform her natural duty. Am I still on?
Yes, you're on.
So you now find out that by the time the woman comes the next day, the men have taken their decision. So she will start to wonder, where did I go wrong? So this is frustrating. We need to also bring the women into the fold. How will you have meeting at 12 midnight? Or you now say, I have the like of you at home. Those are the languages that men say. I have,
Now,
why are you talking to me like that? But I have your like at home. So these are little subtle ways where that we use to discourage women from coming out.
now
Those people
I have a question to ask.
Yes.
Based on a point you raised. You said that men should remove, if they remove the barrier. Do you think it's actually totally the men's fault for women not being able to, get political positions, especially when it comes to elections in Nigeria? I will give you an instance. Sometime in the past, a woman by name Sarah Jibril ran for the office of a president in Nigeria. I think under the People's Democratic Party, she went for the primaries.
Yes.
And in that delegate election, we had more than 100 women that participated in that election as delegates. And Sarah Jibril had only one vote.
Yes.
And that vote was her own personal vote, which she gave to herself.
Yes.
So what of the remaining over 100 women that participated in that Congress?
Remember, I said earlier
on,
I talked about education. When you start at a young age to tell a young girl that your position is not for leadership, over time, she comes to have that notion in her brain. This young girl becomes a mother. She's going to pass it down. And over time, that also will be passed down to another generation. So the education there now comes to see that this kind of mental barrier is removed from childhood. At that polling booth, those people who did not vote for her, it's not that they don't like her. Their husbands, their children, their sons are the ones that will make that decision. Mommy, you are not voting there. This is not what you are going to vote. This is where you are going to vote. The husband goes home and says, except you are not sleeping in this house, you will tell me you are voting for that woman. She doesn't hate that woman. Those women didn't hate her. She served in that community. But that mental barrier has to be removed. Until we break all those societal barriers, then we will have credible women coming out. That's what happened that time.
Okay, now let me ask you, you have, from what you have said about your life and what we have also read about you, what we know about you, you have accomplished so many things in your life, even at a very young age, because you are still very young in age. Do you consider yourself lucky, or do you think do you consider yourself lucky, or do you think they are deserving, that these are products of hard work? And again, which of your accomplishments are you very proud of?
Thank you. I think everything I achieved, I worked for it and I earned it. I will not say I'm from a silver spoon house or wherever, but I made up my mind that I will never go home to ask for anything. So I have to work and merit whatever I deserve in the society. So whatever is there that I've achieved, I strongly believe I deserved it and I worked for it. Just like the first DP that we have, that you mentioned earlier on, you will agree with me that This election she won, she worked for it, and she earned it, and she deserved it. I have
right,
so many achievements that I'm proud of. The first one I can say, which is in fact is the top post, is that quite a number of products, I have my students involved in them, and they are in the market. So whenever I see those products, I feel very fulfilled and happy. I'm not going to mention names because I will not market any product here, but quite a number, because I was at the background consulting for my students, because they come back and ask for one or two questions and we discuss and all that and all that. So I'm proud that I have those my students who have achieved wherever they worked and they're part of product in the market. Also, when I was on sabbatical, the mandate I was given at the Polytechnic, Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, was that get this institution accredited and set up a viable bakery for the institution. I am proud of that. They look so small, but it's the small ones that makes all the difference in one's life. In a situation like that, we had the bakery, and at that time, when they hit 1 million, it was celebrated. 1 million profits from the bakery. It's a small bakery, but they were able to make 1 million profits at one particular period. I was very happy. Then also, looking at my product, if I go to some institutions and I see some of my fabrications there, I feel very happy. There are many, but I think let's stay on these ones.
Wow. Wow. Now let us look at the other side of it, the other coin. Have you, in the book, Things Fall Apart, chapter 3, the main character in that book, written by Professor Chinua Achebe Okonkwo, there was a time in his life when he had also a setback during the farm season that he planted, and all he planted he lost, and he was able to survive it. He said to himself, if I could survive this, I can survive anything. Are there challenges or setbacks you've had in your life that today, when you look back, you look up to God and say, if I could survive this, I can survive anything?
Yes. 22 years ago, I fell ill on holidays in the US, and they couldn't trace what was wrong even in the US. So I came back to Nigeria and I said to myself that if they can't do it in the US, they can do it in Nigeria. But then it didn't happen like that. In a nutshell, I had to be flown back again. At the end of the day, I lost my left limb. But today, it has not deterred me from achieving anything that I want to achieve. I am an amputee. No regrets about it. Because from that time till now, I have achieved a lot. It was like a new chapter was opened in my life. And I have cause to look back and say, what would have happened if I had my 2 legs? So today, to thank that grace that God has given me, I set up a foundation to help people who are in that same situation, who have lost a limb for one reason or the other, and don't know what to do. For them to move on in their lives, this foundation, with the help of friends all over, have been giving limbs for them to move on and participate fully in their home, in the society, and in their economic pursuits. Limb for Life gives hope for the hopeless with respect to limb loss. I set up as a gratitude to God for what He has done for me. 22 years ago, I was flown from Nigeria to US. I was being injected every 30 minutes in the plane. You see that there is cause to thank God for. And this is a big landmark in my life. And each time I look at my limb, I have cause to thank God because there's always a smile on my face. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. Now that may take us to the next question, which is, if you are asked to write a book about your life, what will be the topic of that book?
I've been giving that a thought for some time. And sincerely, I will just say the life of service to humanity.
Life of service to humanity. And in a nutshell, if you are asked to describe your personality, how will you summarize your personality?
Well, I would say that I'm a go-getter, friendly, but frank. I say it as it is, and I move on. Hardworking as well.
Now, what do you do at your free time?
I like reading and I like gardening. Free time, most time you find me in my garden. And now that I've retired, I have moved out to a farm. I have about, not too big, about 7-acre farm that keeps me busy as well.
Wow. That's interesting. We are wrapping it up on this segment of the program. For those who are just joining us, if you are just joining us, inside the arena today, we have a very distinguished woman who has seen it all in the field of engineering practice and has paid her dues, both nationally and internationally, as far as engineering is concerned. Engineer Idiat Aderemi Amusu, Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Now, before we go to the next question. You also served, apart from NSC, you also served in the Council of Koren. Can you give us some information about your stint when you were in Koren?
The highlight of my stay in Koren was the project on skills development of the nation. The challenge was, let us look at this skills development, how to get involved in it and get the government at different levels to partake in it. The council was not happy that skills were being sought outside the country, Togo, Benin, and all that, when our own professionals are still here, not fully engaged. So we were able to interact with the stakeholders in the country and discuss about skills development. And a presentation was made to the government, and I believe that part of it is being worked upon.
All right. In conclusion, what advice, you part of the things you love to do is to mentor young engineers. You have you've done a lot of work to promote female engineering practice in Nigeria. What is your advice for young engineers, especially female engineers? And also, what is your advice for the leadership of the Nigerian Society of Engineers?
Well, to the female engineers, first, let me say to everybody that gender is not a barrier in whatever form. We should increase our feasibility, be able to take challenges and be an achiever. To our general NSC, I think we need to have what I will call, or what is called future plans, 5 years plan, 10 years plan. In 5 years time, where do we want to be? In 10 years time, where do we want to be? It doesn't matter which president is there or not. These plans will be there for execution. If it is a good plan, it's going to move us to where we are. A lot of us are not happy for one reason or the other, but we cannot sit back. We have to join and make our voice heard. Most times when they call for participation in whatever form, the loudest voice that criticize are never part of it. And they are very critical to this project. So I would want to suggest that these people should come out and be bold to say whatever it is so that the society can move forward.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma. On a final note, the Nigeria of today, is it the Nigeria of your dream? And if it is not, what is your wish for Nigeria?
Well, if I look at the period that I grew up and the period of today, I give a sigh. And I feel that the first problem there is our educational system. We need to get it right. The second one is the technical education. We also need to focus on it and get it right. The 3 tiers of engineering family, we need to get it right. Before you will have secondary school students being exposed to basic technical subjects and skills right in school, carpentry, masonry, and the likes of that. They are no more there. We need to get them back. At the different levels also, we need to get our system equipped enough so that our geniuses can be brought to fore. We have a lot of geniuses in Nigeria, but the facility to bring them out is inadequate. We need to work on that. I want to implore all of us to come on the table to work on this educational system. If we get it right, the country will be right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Idiat Aderemi Amusu, our guest for the 12th edition of Inside the Arena. It has been a very wonderful time with you. We want to sincerely appreciate your presence. We are going to be going to the next segment of this program without wasting time, and that is going to be the corner kick segment. And we have rules, we have read out the rules when we are starting. The floors are going to be opened, and our members or the participants will ask questions. If anybody has a question, you click on the reaction button, you raise your hand, we will ask you to unmute your mic, then you ask your question. When you have question, please go straight to the question, no compliments or exchange of pleasantries, so that we can accommodate more people to ask their questions. Engineer Ikenna Okonkwo. Can you go on, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well done, madam. That's a beautiful presentation. Like Engineer C said, direct to the question. You talked about equipment for agricultural engineering along the food value chain, processing and all that. I would want to know if most of those are products, both the ones you sold to protected of a polytechnic, are they patented? And what's the relationship with Raw Material Research and Development Center and NASEMI during your time? Thank you.
Most of them are not patented because they are the general things that are all over the place. The only difference that makes mine different from them is that we made them stainless steel and we made them affordable. Most of the tray dryers that you have outside, they are made of mild steel, but we were able to do the inner side as stainless steel and the trays stainless steel. I cannot claim ownership of a tray dryer that is all over the place, but I made a lot of modifications to them. That's why I didn't register anything there. With NASEMI, when Professor, what's his name? The one from UNN that was there before. I want to remember his name, man. When he was there. Sorry? Is it Peter?
Raw material.
Raw materials. I was with raw materials, so I consulted for raw materials along the line.
All right, we will take the next person, Engineer Joshua Sanga.
Hello, thank you, ma. Thank you. I just want to say you are a motivation to the younger ones, especially women. I have 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. All of them, once the boys are already in sciences, but the ladies perform poorly in sciences. Mostly afraid of mathematics. I'm here with one of them. Maybe there are other little younger ladies listening to you. How can you encourage them not to fear science and mathematics? She's listening now. Thank you, ma.
Yeah. I think the programs of APWEN is focused on that. There are so many programs that we are running to encourage the younger ones to study engineering. We have Fnse for secondary schools. We have Project Skill for secondary schools. That's run by Ikeja branch, NSC. APWEN has Invent It, Build It. So all these programs are geared towards encouraging the younger ones, particularly girls, to study engineering.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, Engineer Charity at Zion.
Okay. Good evening, Engineer Ben. Good evening, Engineer Idiat, Amusu, and every other person. Permitting to start the already established protocol. And my question is, is no more a news that Nigeria's survival needs agricultural impact. And so as the first agric engineer in Nigeria, and being a skilled lecturer that interfaces with the industry, and of course, having a brand, waste not, want not, as you have told us today. My question is, what do you think can be done differently in agriculture to harness more and maybe making use of waste materials around us at little or no financial extra cost? Remembering that recently we were told about urine fertilizer from another country, we know about biogas, irrigation water. What can we do that we can make use of waste materials around us in agriculture so that we can also save some of this waste? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, I think we will take the other questions so that I can respond to them.
Okay, together.
Once more. Yeah, we have Olu Kunle Kolawole.
Okay. Good evening, ma, and good evening, all engineers here present. I read a book from engineer Idiat Aderemi Amusu about reverse engineering. I would want her to give a brief summary so that people who have not had the opportunity to read will know it, and probably we can form disciples of these reverse engineering. Thank you very much.
Okay, we take Yetunde Alade. Please, the person that has iPhone, you have to register with your name so that you can allow you to ask your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Ben. Thank you. Good evening, distinguished engineers. My question is simple. Do we think as a body, are we doing enough in mentoring even the younger ones coming after us so that they can take over in our stead when we're no more there? Thank you.
Okay, Ma, you can respond to the questions.
Okay. Let me talk first on Engineer Alade. Talking about mentoring, we can never have enough of mentoring. We all should be on the table mentoring the younger ones to ensure that they have the right focus and their interest is geared towards achieving their desired goals. Today, I would want more of it from NSC. The mentoring program should be emphasized more because everybody is looking towards NSC for answers. So to get those answers, we can do it through mentoring programs. I know that there's youth engineers forum there, but it's not enough. We should have it in all the chapters of NSC so that at the grassroots, mentoring is there for them. All of us cannot wait for the conference before we can feel the impact of NSC mentoring. So at that point, it calls for everybody to put our hands on the table for the mentoring of the younger ones. Thank you. The other one about reverse engineering. I think one, to move us ahead in the field of technological development, in view of the situation of the country now, reverse engineering, I believe, is the key. If you look at it, there is nothing new to reinvent anymore. It's just for us to recirculate and modify. If we have to do that, To kickstart this, we need to reverse virtually anything that comes to our space that is useful to the community. The simpler, the better. That is the summary of that book that you are talking about. There are no workshops that are functional in the country now. But wherever you find yourself, you can practice, recreate, and reinvent. That is the principle of reverse engineering. If you are waiting to create a new thing, the process is going to be long. Let's leave that to the researchers. What the country needs now is to add value to what we have on hand, and we need it as of yesterday. So if we need to meet up, we have to reverse. The Asian tigers did that. If you recall that time, they will bring equipment and say, it's made in China, I don't want it. It's made in Korea, I don't want it. That's what they were doing. So let's start to do that here in Nigeria also. You'll be amazed what these local workmen do. Right now, they have converted generator to welding machine. So it means that they know the technology. They have applied it because they can't afford to buy a welding machine. So they have converted what is available to be used for what they want to do. That's where we should be now. Just like I said, the tray dryer and the exhausters that I've done and the screw press that I've done, they are not new. But all I have just done is look at the costs, modify it in such a way that it's affordable to the consumer so they can buy it. If you come to Agege and all, Idimu side and all that, you will find a lot of reverse engineering that these local technicians are doing. If you look at juice expression, you have varieties of it outside there. They are made with mild steel. I will now go in there, make it in stainless steel. So these are the things that we need to do. We need it as at yesterday. Research will go on. Those people that have that innate ability to conduct researches, they are there, they will continue. And we don't have to stay in one spot. We need to spread out. The equipments are there, needed. There's vacancy in that space. Let's fill it. Some of us bombard it as much as possible. You will find that we start to export. The third one, please, can you remind me, Ben? That's Charity's question. Yes.
Engineer Charity.
Can you just prompt me?
Okay, yes, ma'am. I said, what do you think we can do differently in agriculture to harness more, making use of waste materials around us?
Okay. It's still, actually, that is what motivated me to start reverse engineering. That question, that was what motivated me to start the reverse engineering. What can we do differently? We can't fold our arms. There are so many things being wasted in the field of engineering that is very disheartening. Some time ago, they showed a picture of tomato wasting in the north. They cannot set up a factory, but can we do something small that they can use to process this tomato into another product that can be utilized by the community? Those are the questions we need to start to ask ourselves. And when we have it, we just, if it's there, we reverse it. For instance, the Chinese now are bringing equipment for gari making. They didn't do anything. They just came to Nigeria, picked all our product samples, and they went to reverse engineer it. And they brought it back. That's what we need to do in the space of agriculture. We need that as so we need to look at that. Secondly, we need to lift up ourselves. As engineers, we need to lift up ourselves. We criticize ourselves so much, and it's very disheartening. If you go to the field of medicine, if a doctor makes a mistake, all the other doctors are going to rally around and support and ensure that that person gets out of it. Here in engineering, when you get, if you are fortunate to go into a field, I say, which engineer did this? What is the meaning of all this? The criticism is so much that even if the engineer that tried it was there, it would just be very sad. So let's not put ourselves down. Let us lift up ourselves as much as possible. I love engineering, and any day, anytime, I will still do engineering.
All right, I think we are going to take these last two people, then we wrap it up for the question and answer segment. Engineer James Akale. Engineer Akale, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, my brother. Doing a great job. First, to our engineer in the field of engineering, but I have one very major concern, man. And I like to know if you had experienced this.
You are breaking
your time. Although you are an academia in the private sector, at your time, was there this influx of so-called expatriates? You know, so-called expatriates from China, India. You know, I was at the man. I asked myself, for every Nigerian that calls themselves engineers, it's happening now, even in the oil and gas sector. Was this like this in your time? Because when you talk about the Asian giants, you're talking about reverse engineering now. How can we, you know, work against this mentality where these guys are giving job permits to come into this country and flood the engineering space? How do you think our own Nigerian engineers will grow in such environments? It's my concern. And I would like to know if you have any idea of how NFC or current can actually participate to curb this thing, because we are suffering it. I tell you the gospel truth. We are suffering it. We don't get sponsored to conferences. We don't get recognized. So I'd like to know, between your time and now you're retired, how can we face this very major challenge in our engineering sector? Thank you, man. God bless you.
Ben, it was cracking. Can you give me the summary? I didn't hear.
Okay, the summary of what he was saying is this, that during your own time, did you have this influx of expatriates in the country then, that he was, you know, raising concern about the influx of expatriates in Nigeria at the present time?
It's gone.
Hello, man.
Okay.
That was his concern. He was concerned about the influx of expatriates in the country. What do you think should be done about it?
Well, I'm not in government, but the little I know is this: if there is vacancy, there is no void in the system anywhere. If there is a void, it will be filled. The first one I said is that there is a void in the field of technical skills development. So they have to fill it. We ourselves have to sit up and ensure that these things are back into the system. You want a masonry is from Togo and all that and all that. That is one. Two, a lot of our graduates and our professionals are not coming out enough. I'm not holding forth for government, please. I'm not in government, but I'm just saying my own personal views. Secondly, when these contracts are awarded, our people are there. What did they contribute about personal human resources to be used for the project? I don't know. Because when they sign these contracts, there will be some guidelines. And we are supposed to also make our requests. So if that is not done by our own engineers, do you want to question anybody? I don't believe there's a contract that was signed anywhere that we don't have our own engineers there. NSC cannot come and sit at the contract table. It is the engineers that they will send there. So we also should be up and doing. We should be forthright when we are called upon to do any duty or any function on behalf of the profession.
All right, we take the last engineer, Tunde Olatunji.
Thank you, the field marshal, the expert moderator who is making a lot of, doing a lot of things for Nigerian Society of Engineers. Allow me to stand on the existing protocol. I hope I'm being heard because I'm on the road.
We can hear you, sir.
Yes, first and foremost, I want to really especially thank the speaker for today, Mrs. Amusu. She is one of those I've, always looked at as a very special person. Well, that's the reason there are some men who behave more than women. I believe in women leadership, and I hope that we will get one woman one day. We are already getting there, who will help us to straighten, Nigeria, because we need such a thing at this time in our development. But all the same, I don't believe that, men and women are especially the same, because there are some men who will be like women and there are some women who will be like men. My mother was one of them. She really was in the forefront and she did a lot to help us to be somebody in life. Having said that, let me say that she has been very exceptional even in this interview. But I was so excited to hear of all the things she has done. And I'm not surprised that the affluent, today is doing so well, because women like her that even in this platform have done wonderfully well. Let us continue to support and encourage them so that we can get a better Nigeria. Our Nigeria is not going well at all, as far as I'm concerned. We have left those things that we are supposed to do, and especially in engineering, we are becoming more political than professional, and it's affecting us terribly. We are going to be put in the background if we continue to do that. We need someone to put us straight. If we want to be professional, let's be professional. Yes, we do politics, politics is part of life, but we should not bend over backwards and become politicians, because that's not our business. Our business first is engineering. Then we play politics so that we can enhance engineering. I'm looking forward to a woman who will do that for us, and I'm very excited to see that we are already, grooming one, because I have worked with her and I know what she can do. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
thank
Engineer
you.
Olatuji.
Thank you very much, sir. Ma, do you have anything to say on what he said?
Well, I think we will all continue to encourage ourselves. NSC is all of us. Whatever you see in NSC is what we have put in. So if we want quality, let us all rise up and put quality there. If we want professionalism, let us rise up and put professionalism in the right seats. NSC cannot be a ghost town. We just say NSC, NSC. Who is NSC? NSC is you and I. Please don't sit on the fence. Get up and let us join hands to uplift NSC. Thank you.
Get up and let us join hands to uplift NSC. I think that is a very good way to end it for today. We are now going to go to the final segment of today's program, and that is the extra time. And at this segment, we are going to be having two very special prizes that will be won by two of the participants. I say that the first prize, which is a split unit air conditioner, Hisense, which was donated by Engineer Olu Ogunduile, a very good friend of our guest. And also we have a fan, which will also be won today by a participant. I know many of us who have been participating know that many people have won great prizes in this program, and it will continue to be like that in all our programs by the special grace of God. Now we have a rule. We are going to ask the question. The first two people to send in the correct answer will win the prizes. Now take note. Don't send in the questions until we have finished asking the question and say send. If you send in the answers to any question before we have finished asking the questions, you'll be automatically disqualified from participating. Thank you. Get ready. Give us, when our host was responding, we asked her a question. I don't want to preempt the question. She did mention a name. Tell us only the surname of the person that introduced her to the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Correct spelling. Send. Answers are coming in. Ma, you will look at the chat box. The person to get the correct spelling, the correct spelling of the answer is the person that will win the question. If you may decide, so you look at the answers sent in as they come. The person to get in the first correct answer automatically wins the first prize, and the second person comes second. Now, can you give us the correct answer, ma'am?
Shomolu.
What is the spelling of Shomolu?
S-O-M-O-L-U.
S-O-M-O-L-U. Okay, I can see the first person. The first person to send in answer did not get the correct spelling. And the first to get the correct spelling is, from your own end, I can see Oyo. Oh, the name must be from Warri. I can take the second name, Broker. Broker Oyo Vivo. And we have the next person. I think the first person put Bennett Usuala put S, H to it. And then the correct spelling is the next person, which is Broker. I hope that is what you are seeing, Ma. Can you see the chat box?
Yes, I'm looking at
confirm?
it. The first person
So,
is Broker, and the next one is Nimot Muili.
The next person is Nimot. Nimot, please, can you show us your faces so that we can see you? Broker, can you show us your face? I'm trying to find you. I can't see you. I can see Nimot. I can see Broker. Okay, let me add you to the. Okay. All right. A big congratulations, Broker. Can you? Where are you? Where are you based? Okay. Let me unmute you. Okay. Can you unmute your mic?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
Engineer Mrs. Idiat Aderemi. I'm so grateful.
Where are you based?
I'm based in Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. You are going to get somebody to pick your prize from Abuja. And we are bringing up a new rule. And we are serious about that. If you win a prize, you have just 3 days to go to pick up your prize. If you don't pick it up in 3 days, we are going to award it to the next person on the line, because we have had prizes that were won by people in the past, and they had to leave it in my office for some months. We had to beg them we had to be sending messages to them to come and pick their prizes. So any prize that is left more than 3 days after you have won it, we go back and contact the next person and award it to the next person. We assume that you didn't, or you don't need the prize. So a very big congratulations. You have won for yourself a beautiful split unit, 1 horsepower, high-sense air conditioner. And the Nimot, congratulations. You can unmute your mic so that we can hear your voice.
All right, thank
and
you.
Nimot, you have also
Thank you.
won yourself a beautiful fan. Where are you based?
I'm in Lagos.
Okay, the fan is in Lagos. I hope the fan is in Lagos.
Yes.
So Nimot, after the program, you send me a message so that I can link you with our guest so that you can pick up the fan in Lagos. You are lucky. But my friend Broker, you have to send somebody to pick up the air conditioner in Abuja. You send me a message, I send you the office address, you pick up the air conditioner. I want to sincerely thank all of us for participating. It's been a very wonderful time having you inside the arena for this 12th edition. We say a very big thank you to you. And we pray that God will continue to keep you and bless you and keep you strong in your passion and your commitment and contribution to the development of the engineering profession in Nigeria and by extension, the nation in general. We say a very big thank you to all the participants who have participated in today's program. Do have a very wonderful evening. I still remain your host, Engineer Ben Osi Oko, signing out. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you all. It's my pleasure to be with you all.